Whoa. Is it getting annoying that I'm doing that every time? Anyone?
Not to me.
Anyone want to chime in?
How about you guys?
Solomon's quiet, so I think it's annoying.
I have no comment on that.
No problem. Hey, man. No problem. No problems, bro. Dave, can you tell I've lost a little bit of weight?
A little bit. Yeah. Well, yes, you can.
See that jawline?
Yeah, that's good. It's a good jawline.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Yason.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Should we do a podcast?
Let's do one.
Let's go.
Unidentical.
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 Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Unidentical Podcast. I'm Jason Collins, and as always, my co-host,
David Collins.
the better-looking twin.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys continue to rate and review at Apple Podcasts, iHeart, or wherever it is that you listen. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps us. It helps us. It helps us. Also, if you want to look at us, which I don't blame you, man, go to YouTube. That's the Unidentical Podcast on YouTube, and make sure that you like, subscribe, and mash that notification bell so you know whenever some new info is coming your way, new episodes, bonus episodes, what have you.
So many
And
people
as
say
always,
that stuff about this notification bell. People love to do the smash and da.
yeah, I would say I say stuff like sit on it.
There should be a support group for notification
Sit on it.
bells.
What was that? Sit on it. Oh, that was Happy Days. Sit on it, Fonz.
Sit on it, Potsy.
Potsy. And as always, if you want to give us some info or tell us a story or ask us some questions, you can go to it's the unidenticalpod@gmail.
It's unidenticalpod at Gmail.
Unidenticalpod@gmail.com. See. Let's see. I got some dates coming up. As always, I like to let you guys know when I'm going to be on stage rocking that MIC. Let's see. October, this weekend. October 20th and 21st, I will be in Glendale, Arizona at the Stir Crazy Comedy Club. That is October 20th and 21st. Then October 23rd through the 29th, I'll be headlining Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Brad will be on those shows, so make sure you get those tickets if they haven't already sold out. Those are always great shows. And then on the 19th, I got, October 19th. So this Thursday is what that is. So today.
Is today? Okay,
Well,
yeah.
this is going to come out on Thursday.
Mhm.
I'm in Hollywood at the Astor. It's at 1717 Vine Street in LA. It's called the Astor.
Get your Astor out there.
Get your Astor over there. It's pretty cool. It's like a Soho House type private club thing, but this guy does comedy shows there, and I'm gonna be doing that show.
Is that one of those places that's like hard to find, no name on the door type thing?
Well, no, this one has a name, but this one's easy to find because it's right there on Hollywood and Vine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called the Astor. Cool. And we'll probably put details for that in the episode notes. Yeah. So how's your week been?
Pretty good. Pretty. Didn't do a lot of outdoor stuff.
Why?
I meant to. I don't know. I didn't get it. I got really wrapped up in some designing stuff on the computer. And you know me, I obsess, and I'll start working on a design and then before I know it, 4 hours have gone by, and I do.
Dave is definitely not a multitasker.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think Dave is the man of very little detail.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody use the word stuff so often and just say nothing.
Hey man, I got to keep it mysterious.
Yo.
Yeah, you're out there on the front lines and on the stages and stuff, so I got to keep it real low key on my end.
I had very crazy thing happened this weekend. Not to me, but I was in the vicinity. So Saturday night, I'm at I'm booked at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. Okay.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah. Which is,
my God.
It made the news, the whole thing, which is an easy little drive. Usually it takes me no longer than 15 minutes to get there. I get off the freeway downtown and it's just gridlock. And I noticed that those Shacktoberfest posters and billboards were up. So I'm like, is this
A what?
Shacktoberfest? He does this Halloween thing every year down there by the Queen Mary.
A shack with a Q on the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal,
All right.
the basketball player. Have you heard of him?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, big guy, right?
Yeah, big fella.
Okay.
So I thought, man, and then there was signs that said event parking ahead. So I'm like, maybe this is that. Then the manager, and I'm around the corner a block from the club.
Mhm.
And the manager of the club calls me. She says, do not get off on Broadway. And I was like, damn it, too late. And I go, what's going on? She goes, there's a huge accident in front of the club. And some pedestrians got hit.
Right. I heard about this.
So I was like, geez. So then I get closer to the scene and I'm finding my parking and I can see them covering a body.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
that's morbid.
Right? Pretty morbid.
Been
And
there.
then I get to the club and it turns out the bartender at the club was taking an Uber to work. His Uber was the one that ran over the people.
While he was in the car?
He was in the Uber and he said, he
my
tells the
God.
management, he goes, my Uber driver decided to run a red light
Dude.
and ran over some pedestrians. And yeah, it made the news. It was pretty nuts.
Long Beach is kind of going nuts.
Yeah.
Long Beach is acting like it used to be in the 90s.
A little bit.
There was a shooting right across the street from the house yesterday.
Really?
Yep. A lady, and you have to understand, this is an area of Long Beach that's called Los Altos.
Yeah.
And it's a very quiet kind of, a lot of seniors, you know, it's
Yeah.
very, and yeah, this woman was there and a guy pulled up in a car and tried to snatch her purse. And when she fought him, he shot her in the leg and then fired off 2 rounds, 2 other rounds that didn't hit anybody, thank God.
Oh, so she's okay.
I think so, yeah.
Good.
But he took off, and then the cops and the cars and the helicopters start chasing him. But it was right in the
Yikes.
parking lot of where my wife works, like where Becca works.
Oh, no.
And so all the shops had to shut everybody in, and it was nuts, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is I was thinking, I made a joke about Long Beach acting like it's in the 90s and everything, but it was not there was a lot of stuff going on back in the 80s and 90s in Long Beach
yeah,
that just hasn't been going on for a while.
Well,
you know what I mean?
First of all, you had the crack epidemic,
Mm-hmm.
which was, thank you, Rick Ross. I met him, by the way. Really nice guy. Freeway Rick. He's actually a really nice guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
he did his
here
time.
once. He's been here.
He
Yeah.
came to the podcast place?
Yeah.
Oh, rad. That's
Yeah,
good.
he did his time, and now he's,
Selling stuff out of the trunk of his car.
now he's just selling. Well, now it's his book.
Right. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
well,
not
good for
crack
him.
anymore. Now
right,
it's
right.
his book. Am I wrong?
I didn't mention the book while he was here, but
Yeah, he's got a book out, and he's
he
doing his
mentioned
thing.
T-shirts and talking about how he's the real Rick Ross.
He's the real Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Because the rapper, the Rick Ross, kind of was I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was a corrections officer at one point.
Really?
He was.
And
he was.
he kind of took that identity. I'm wondering if he thought this guy's never going to get out.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
It's
that's
identity
why
theft.
Freeway Rick Ross goes by the real Rick Ross.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sort of the same way a lot of those rappers take names after colognes or cars or
Or
things
gangsters.
like that.
Old gangsters.
Oh yeah,
Or
exactly.
and they refer to their organizations as the mafia of this or whatever. But yeah.
Real Rick Ross.
Real Rick Ross.
I'm going to change my name. I'm going to be the faux Rick Ross.
Not to make it about me, but I almost died this week.
Yeah?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, you did.
I had a very close call, you guys. Very close call.
Yeah, well,
I am being dramatic, but I found out on what was it? Friday morning. I found out that I have what they call hypertension crisis at a level where it's like you need to go to the hospital because you might be right about to have a heart attack or a stroke.
How did you find out? What happened?
Here's what
he
happened.
looked in the mirror.
I looked in the mirror and I just went, come on, man. Good one. Good one. You burned me. Sick burn.
Hey,
I
tough love sometimes.
know. But don't forget, we're twins.
That's right.
And so I woke up. I was feeling a little off, and my neck and my lower back were sore. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the chiropractor. I used to go to the chiropractor on a regular basis and get adjustments. So I go to the chiropractor to get an adjustment. And they didn't used to do this, but for some reason now they're doing it. They take your blood pressure now before they do their adjustment. And this doctor takes my blood pressure, and he goes like this. He goes, huh. Like,
That's what you want to hear from a
I'm like,
doctor.
I go, what? And he goes, oh, let's take it again. Let's just make sure.
Yeah.
And let's
Calm down.
Yeah, let's
Sit here for a second and let's
take
do
this
it again.
again.
Imagine if you took it and went,
Practically almost did. So you have to understand, I'm in there and I'm mellow, and I don't have what they call what do they call that? White coat syndrome, where
I
people,
haven't heard of that.
okay, when people go to doctors, they get really nervous and their blood pressure shoots up because just
I get
just
that.
for being in the I don't get that. I've been
Dude, I love learning stuff. I've
Yeah.
never heard that. That's great.
so because of having so many
white coat syndrome.
yes, because of having so many surgeries and being in the hospital so many times, I don't have that anymore.
Sure.
Especially it's a chiropractor. It's not like I'm going to see a surgeon,
Right.
you know. So I was chilling. I was mellow and just ready. I was excited and happy to get this adjustment because I thought it was going to be a thing. So he takes my blood pressure again.
Mm-hmm.
And this time he hurriedly pulls the cuff off my arm and goes, "You need to go straight to the emergency room right now."
That's terrifying.
And I go, "What is going on?" He said, "Your blood pressure is 155 over 112. I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, those are numbers. I don't know what that. I don't know about.
So
numbers.
I just, because I don't know what I'm talking about, I go, okay. And then I just get my stuff and I get in the car. And of course, the very first thing I did was call my wife. I says, "Look, I got an issue here. I was just told that I need to go to the hospital right now because of and I felt fine, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm okay. See, I'm one of those people that I get to the point with certain pains that I start ignoring them.
Right.
And I don't really acknowledge. I was getting a little bit of chest pains. I was getting some chest pains.
Shit.
But for like a week, I had been getting these chest pains. And also some of the what is it when God damn it, one of the things that tells you
Symptom.
God, why?
Symptom?
There are certain words that get stuck in my brain. That's another thing I get nervous about.
Mine too.
Like I feel like I
And
might be having a stroke right now.
Right, and it's always a word that you've said like a
million times. Yeah.
yeah.
There are people's names that are like that for me.
Yeah.
Here's my ride's coming because they just heard about me. So the symptoms are fatigue, shortness of breath.
Yeah.
I have all that.
I've noticed something recently about you too. Like you used to always, no matter what, you'd be out doing shows till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and you would always be boom up in the morning doing stuff.
7 a.m.
And lately you've been sleeping in and
almost till noon.
Yeah.
And I'm talking plenty of sleep. I will sleep till noon now. Not now because I've been doing the right things, but then throughout the day after I've done something or I've done some editing or I've done some writing, I'll sit down on the couch to watch something and I will immediately fall asleep.
Right.
Immediately fall asleep. So I was fatigued. But one of the things I remember is fatigue is a symptom of people that have had COVID have fatigue for months and months and months and months afterwards. And I thought maybe that's all that was.
Is that thing they refer to as long COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, holy shit. So I called my wife. I said, this is what's happening. And she goes, Elaine immediately goes, call Monica. Our friend Monica.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She is a ER nurse. Mm-hmm. She said, call Monica, tell her exactly what's going on. So I called Monica and I told her, and she's like, all right, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to buy your own blood pressure cuff because at your age, you should probably have one anyways. And I was like, okay. But she goes, we want to rule out a bad reading.
Right. Okay, so this is before you went to the emergency room.
This was after. No, I never went to the emergency
Oh,
room.
okay.
And because I found out I wasn't dying, but I thought I was. But so I call her and she's like, okay. And so I go to do that. I take my readings. It's slightly lower. It's not like emergency room status, but it's what they call hypertension 2. And it's called crisis.
Return?
Yeah. So 155 over 112 is what it read. Monica said, if that top number gets to 170, go to the emergency room. You're probably going to have a heart attack or whatever. And so that's what happened. So then I went and bought this cuff, and now I've been ordered by her, my wife, my mom, everybody in my family, my brother, to quit drinking alcohol. Because I said on a couple episodes ago that I will have a shot of tequila once a day, and I will always do it before or after my show.
Where though?
Into my mouth.
No. Where do you do this? In your home or?
No.
Oh, okay.
At the clubs, and that's part of the problem.
So it's not every day. I mean, you get one day off sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, but then I was having one at home.
There you go. Yeah.
But not all the time. But it was one of those things where I have a lot of pain in my joints, and when I took shots, it helped with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it also causes the pain in the long run. So it's like that circle. I was like, oh, my knee hurts, so I'm going to drink alcohol. And then the next morning, my knee is in pain because I drank alcohol. Mm. And so I was told, completely cut alcohol out. No more alcohol. Good. No more late nights eating. Try not to stay out too late at night, which is really tough with my job.
Right.
Like I got off stage last night after midnight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I had 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so now clean eating. You remember I started doing fast food again because it was late night. It was easy, and I had.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I was.
I was being a bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing the full on addiction thing.
Shame.
I mean, it got to the point where I started wondering if I should start taking a painkiller again. And we remember where that led last time.
Yeah.
So I can't touch those. But
we should explain that we have an addictive gene.
Yeah, we do have an
addictive gene.
Yeah. So that's mom. That was mom's fear. And Elaine, my wife, she's such a strong-willed person. So she's just like, just have self-control. Because I can't have sweets now. I can't have cookies. Salt and sugar. Salt, sugar, sodium. Got to cut out as much as I possibly can. For sure. No coffee, like straight up coffee, which is fine. I don't really drink a coffee.
Dude, I drink so much.
I'll do like a latte, once in a while. But other than that, it's like, chicken breast and veggies. And then the thing is, and the kids know it now. My wife knows it now. I get home from working last night at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, and what is sitting on the stove at 1:00 in the morning? What's sitting right there on the stove?
Mac and cheese.
Nope, a sheet of fucking homemade chocolate chip cookies. Just sitting there for the taking.
Did you eat them?
No.
Oh, good.
I ate 3.
Oh,
ate 3 of them, and I'm like, this is. A lot of people that don't have the addictive gene don't understand addiction.
Right.
They think you should just, if you can't do it, don't do it.
Right.
Yo, that addiction wouldn't exist if it was that easy.
Mm-hmm.
So their thing is like, just have self-control. If it's sitting there, you don't need to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's pumpkin bread at the house.
Mm.
There's, the cookies.
All that.
So it's gonna be a bit of a battle.
Yeah.
But I already feel better. I've been now no alcohol for 4 days. Mm-hmm. Swelling in the neck's gone down. Knees getting more mobile. I'm walking without a limp today.
Good.
And I'm not going to die of a stroke or a heart attack, at least not today. Cut to, imagine the podcast,
right.
We would get so many views.
Yeah.
It'd be a hit, right, guys?
Fake it.
So I have to take my blood pressure 3 times a day. So today I'm going to take it here.
Yay.
With all of you people.
Special stuff.
I brought the thing.
Happening.
Oh, how is it? How's it? That's Office, isn't it?
Special stuff. It's happening.
Is that
Office?
What? Is that something from The Office?
No.
I remember one time Mike was like, something's happening.
But one time one thing you said a minute ago, you said that reminded me of our boy Dwight here is, remember what Dwight would say? You want to get sick, go to the hospital.
That's true. So what's cool about this blood pressure monitor, it's Bluetooth,
Neat. And what is that? Explain that to our listeners.
It tells me on my phone, it puts my blood pressure and everything on my phone. So I have a record of it on my phone. So when I go to the doctor, I show him that and we know when we stand and then we take it again. So when you take your blood pressure, this has to be on the inside, palm up, feet flat on the floor.
Think calm thoughts.
Think positive thoughts. Yeah. Think wonderful thoughts. Solomon naked. So here we go. Here we go.
That's the second time that's happened to me this week.
You're hot, dude.
You're hot, dude. All right, so here we go. It squeezes the shit out of your arm, by the way.
Yeah.
At first, I was like
a school principal.
It's supposed to be this tight. Yeah, like a school principal.
Get over here.
How are you that funny? It pisses me off. Friends of mine, when they listen to the pod, they're like, bro, is your brother a comic? Because he's hilarious. I'm like, no.
I don't hear it. But
all right, here we go. Right now, I'm at 144 over 100 was the last one I did this morning.
Which is bad, right?
Which is bad. It's high.
It says it right there.
Hypertension stage 2. Yeah.
It's in red. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, anytime it's in red, it's a problem. I mean, I'm talking and we're hanging out, so it's probably going to be a little bit high, but whatever. Here we go. Ooh, I can feel my heartbeat beating in my arm.
Are there relaxing noises on this?
Ooh, not good, not good. Okay, this time 150 over 106.
Bruh.
Yeah, that's 150 over 106.
Bruh.
That's high. That's really high. I'm going to take it one more time just in case.
Okay.
Now, can someone else use that without it recording and them thinking
it's
it's yours?
I just turned the Bluetooth off on my phone.
Okay, because your brother's next.
Yep.
Yeah, I did mine earlier too.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so it's warming up here. It's making noises. It's making noises.
It's a very relaxing noise.
I have a thing with that. I you know that I wear headphones when I sleep so I can sleep with white noise a lot.
I do that too.
Yeah. I live on a busy street though, and it's so loud, and the Long Beach buses are all like these new like hybrid buses now, and they make this weird noise where they sound like they're laughing at you. They go when they go by a house.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. Okay, where are we at?
We're close. And
Why does it count down from so high? I see that it's counting down from like 100.
yeah, this
Because
is
it's
a little better.
trying
It's
to
a
feel
little
your
lower now.
trying to
Little
feel
bit
your
lower.
pulse.
Where are you at now? What are you at?
I am at
What is your
142 over 102.
So what is that? Sounds bad still.
It is bad still. It's not what it was, but it's bad. So I have to go to the doctor this week, and I'm going to definitely get on some medication for this. But you know what, kids? I'm going to be okay. Not going to die. Not going to have a stroke or a heart attack. And yeah, so 142 over 102 is where I'm at now. Not good.
And-
Life's not fair, is it?
And just for
Right.
the record, I mean, it should be ideally 120 over 80.
Yeah, 120 over 80 is a healthy, normal
Right.
I think mine's a little high too.
blood pressure thing.
I think mine's gonna be a little bit high here. How do I do this? Okay, I'm putting on the cuff.
You know how to do it.
This way, Jay?
No.
Or this way? This way.
I love
Yes.
watching my brother try to figure stuff out. He's like,
I'm like a cat.
he's like, oh, yeah, put it on. Oh, you make me laugh. Oh, shit.
Where are we at?
So you put it on your arm.
This
Make
way or
sure
that way? I don't know.
This way.
The hose goes
Tube on
down.
the inside of your arm.
That sounds
Tube on
gross.
the inside.
Sounds gross.
And it sounds
Don't say tube.
disgusting.
Don't say tube.
Just put it on. Quit being a moron.
All right.
And
Do
then-
it.
And
And
then
then I just hit.
palm up.
It's an awkward angle.
Here we go.
Oh, did you already do it?
You're about to get squeezed.
Try to relax.
All right. Relaxing.
Omni pomni om.
Omni pomni om.
Omni pomni om.
Relaxing zone. What if it worked? I wish we had like a
Yeah.
what is that? That little those little sound
Yeah. Or the glasses.
wind chimes are
Wind
good.
chimes.
Wind chimes are good.
But I'm a white noise guy like you, but I don't put them in my headphones.
My white noise is the sounds of the TARDIS.
I thought he was going to say, my white noise is my
is your
racist neighbor yelling at me.
What's the sound of the what?
The TARDIS from Doctor Who.
Oh, I didn't really get into the Who.
Oh, so 136 over 92. So you're a little bit high too,
Mm.
but you're not like
Yup.
dangerously high.
Yup. Yeah.
Not
So
bad.
we're both. Also, this does come with age as well. I was told by my nurse that she said this is part of getting older. She likes to be gentle with me because she's so much freaking younger than me. And she's like, Jason, it's just part of it. It's part of it, old fella. Old
Can
fella.
I take this off? I feel
Yeah. Those, all your flirtation possibilities go out the window when they start calling you that.
Yeah,
Right?
always.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Monica because she's on her way. I call her with this when she's driving back to because she's from Arizona and she's driving back for a family, like some wedding or something, and she's just about to have the best weekend. And like one of her best friends called her and said, "Hey, I might die. Can you help me?"
Wow.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh,
I'm the
okay.
best friend. I'm the best friend. Ah, so that's that. We're okay. We're gonna live, right?
Yes. Yes.
We gonna live.
Yeah. Me, maybe a little longer, but
Probably.
no.
Probably. No, but watch. Every week. Does your scale work at your house?
yes.
Yeah, I gotta weigh myself every week too. Or I just
What are you at?
just
Can I ask
put-
you? Can I ask you?
I don't know because my scale's
Okay.
been.
Today I weighed myself. Though.
What?
Yeah. Today I weighed myself.
What are you at?
190.
I'm probably at 220 pounds. And I should be. What?
You don't look 30 pounds heavier.
I
than
should
him.
be. Well, no, look at our shoulders. Look at like David's shirt.
He's trying to say I have mouth shoulders.
His shirt looks like it's hanging on a hanger.
Yeah. If you put a necklace on me, it would immediately be a belt. Doink.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. So, okay, let's move on because now I'm getting nervous
Why?
because I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack on the podcast.
On the podcast?
Well, let's finish.
I'm already
it.
having a stroke.
Let's finish it with the public service announcement.
Public service announcement.
You wanted to say something about this. Right?
Yes. The point is, as you get older, and even when you're younger, live healthy, eat clean, drink clean, live healthy. Because the way you treat your body when you're younger, it's going to come back and kick you in the ass when you're older. When my father was diagnosed with colon cancer, at that point in his life, he was living very healthy. He hadn't had a drop of alcohol in years. I mean, decades, actually.
Long.
And he was in great shape and he worked out every day and he was a martial artist and this and that. And his doctor told me and my mom and my brother, this is a direct result of how he treated his body when he was younger. So how you treat if you treat your body like shit, it's gonna pay you back. Okay? And anything is bad if it's in excess. Just anything you do it in moderation. Because I'm sorry, I used to tell myself, or I was telling myself as early as last week, one drink a night's not a big deal.
Right, yeah.
One drink a night's not a big, but it was like I was doing a glass of just tequila and ice.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it had soda in it, tequila and soda. That was my drink, or a vodka soda, and then with shots in between. And I'm like, this is just hanging out, because you try to convince yourself and tell yourself anything you want. But this is, and I'm so thankful that I went to the chiropractor, because had I not gone and gotten my blood tested,
You'd be on the same road.
who knows? I mean, yeah, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm living healthy, I'm eating clean, and I'm treating my body like a temple, the temple that it is.
Good.
Because I'm going to live to be 400. When people say they want to live to 100, I'm always like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It gets boring.
What for? You did it. You know?
I'm just glad I never started the whole drinking thing. So
Yeah. You just you would once in a while do a glass of red wine.
I still do it. Like maybe
And
once a
apparently
month.
that has health aspects.
Yeah. Maybe once a month, Becca and I will have a little glass of wine and hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not I don't enjoy it. I don't, people always want to, they always want you to try a beer, and they always say, it doesn't even taste, you can't even taste. That's the only thing I taste is beer, and it's disgusting to me.
Right.
And I think that's how people
here's the thing
get
too.
Oh, go ahead.
Don't fall into non-alcoholic stuff. We got near beer and non-alcoholic beer. Corona has one now. Heineken has one now.
Mhm.
Don't, because you're still actively drinking,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the habit.
And programming that
Yes.
neural net still.
Like when I had the pain pill issue, the habit was taking the pill and eating it.
right.
So when I was in the hospital with my back problem with the whole
Mhm.
COVID thing, I told them, stop bringing me pain pills.
Right.
See, I'm having a stroke. Stop bringing me pills.
Mhm.
Put it in the vein.
Right.
Do it intravenously. That way I'm not thinking about it, and I'm not doing, was it like a Pavlov's dog kind
Mhm.
of thing? And that helped. But when I told the nurse to stop bringing me pain pills, she's like, are you insane? I go, trust me, it'll be a problem, because I just will not stop taking them.
How bad
Right.
did that get for you? Did you have
Passing out every few minutes in pain.
really?
Yeah. You heard the story about when I got COVID?
No.
Oh, I got
Before
rushed
we
to
get
the
into
hospital
that,
in an ambulance.
real quick, before you get into that, I think people need to know one of the reasons why the whole pain thing
Yeah.
is because you through martial arts, you had a lot of knee damage.
A lot of knee damage.
And multiple surgeries and that kind of thing. So that's
I've
where that
had-
started.
I've had
remember,
2 knee surgeries. I've had, one of them was very major surgery, very invasive, large scar. It was a patella tendon ACL replacement surgery, and the recovery was almost just over a year. And then and within that same time frame, my appendix burst, and I had to be rushed to the hospital with a burst appendix. And then, I had, when I was 19, I had an emergency surgery on a stage 4 inguinal hernia, which is like, I was not too far from having to wear a colostomy bag. Like and that's another lesson. If you feel the pain, go to the fucking doctor. I avoided doctors at all costs. I was like, I'll handle this shit. Like when my appendix burst, because about 6 months before that, I had kidney stones, and I had passed 2 kidney stones, which was some of the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
Do you remember when you were doing that? Dad was at the same time?
Yeah.
That was weird.
So when my appendix issue started, it kind of had the same symptoms as that stone. So I said, I'm just passing another kidney stone. I'll just grind through it.
Mhm.
And it just wouldn't stop. So finally I just made an appointment and went to my regular doctor. I says, yeah, I'm having this pain. And he goes, all right, lay down. He goes, oh no. I go, what? He goes, he pushes really hard down on my
Oh,
stomach,
man.
and it didn't hurt. He goes, does this hurt? I go, no. And he goes, watch this. And when he let go of my stomach and it went back up, some of the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. He goes, your appendix is just about to burst. And they had to rush me to the hospital for that.
Wow.
So with all those different things, I was taking Percocet and Vicodin, and then it was just like, I'm gonna just keep taking this. And then I started. This is the crazy part. The purple stuff, the syrup.
Yeah.
I was drinking that. It was nuts. I was Lil Wayne. And so yeah, what happened with the COVID was my back went out to the point where I couldn't move or stand. My wife had to call 911. They came to the house, took me to the hospital in an ambulance, and it was during COVID. They found out in the hospital that I was positive. They put me in a COVID wing, and I was in the hospital for a week.
Oh, wow.
with COVID, and I couldn't move at the same time. And they were trying to give me pain pills, and I was like, no pills, just put it through the vein. And, it was painful. I was passing out every 5 minutes and shit. But so, yeah, I've had some issues with pain, people.
Dude, I'll never forget one day. One of the things that kind of put it over the top for your knee, I remember because I was there when your knee. Remember that thing at the Gracie Academy when we were training that day? We were doing this certain drill with our partner where you were on your feet, and you're moving around the room, and another group that had nothing to do with him and his partner comes sweeping by behind him and just accidentally took my brother's knee out because it was such a crowded class at that time. And man, he went down, and I remember turning around and looking over at him, and his from the knee down, his foot.
Oh my God,
it was bad, man.
Yeah, and that was right when the UFC got really popular. Because before the UFC was a thing, the Gracie Academy in Torrance, I trained under Hoist Gracie. They had a very strict, only 6 people do a class rule. There was only 6 people in the class. That's it. Well, then now when your student load quadruples, they built this huge warehouse upstairs that was all matted, and it was just like 30-something people to a class, and
too many.
It was just way too crowded.
Is that the old location or the new one?
The one on Carson, the old one.
Yeah,
Carson.
that place they didn't have air conditioning.
Do you remember the big room on top? Remember when you would go?
I never went to the big room
because when we built it.
Yeah,
remember the stairs?
My wife went to it for a while.
Every stair was a different size when you walked up there. It was like it was just a challenge walking up there and not getting injured.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on. But I'm okay. I'm doing the right things. If any of you are out in public and you see me with a drink in my hand, 2 things: slap it out of my hand and then slap me in the back of the head. I will. I know you will.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that more. I'm afraid of that more than anything.
Because you won't get up.
I know. So one of the things I want to talk about today that I've been listening to and reading about in the media, in the news, is P Diddy might be in some trouble.
Ooh, I'm interested in
You
this.
see this?
I heard a little bit about it.
So
our mom took a big deep dive on this.
Yes.
She knows more about P Diddy and Tupac and all that.
I believe his name is Daniel Keith Davis, better known as Keefy D.
Hey, that's my name.
Yeah. Keefy D. He has been arrested in connected to the murder of Tupac in Vegas. This guy Keefy, Dwayne Keith Davis, Keefy D. He's a Southside Compton Crip.
Right.
He was childhood friends with Eazy-E, and apparently there was a big fight in Vegas. You remember the big thing that was that got caught on camera, the big melee inside the casino that involved Tupac.
That was crazy.
They got in this fight, and then so apparently Keefy D and his nephew, what was his nephew's name? His nephew's name was what's his name? Remember?
He was Keefy G, I believe.
No. That's not right. Orlando Anderson.
I was
Him and his nephew Orlando Anderson, who's also a Compton Crip, were in the car that shot Tupac there on the Vegas Strip. Now, all these years later, Davis was arrested on September 29th. He was arrested September 29th of this year and charged in connection with the murder of Tupac. Now he's in jail saying, "Yo, P Diddy paid me $1 million to do it." What do you guys think? Do you think he's full of shit, or do you think? What do you guys think?
I don't know enough about him, and I haven't seen any interviews or anything to kind of get any kind of, because sometimes you know how you can kind of.
He's a criminal. He's a gangster and a criminal.
Yeah,
that's all he is. He's never been anything more or less. Yeah, look at this. Here we go.
One of the things I enjoy.
Right there.
Yeah, I see him. One of the things I enjoy is seeing these people that do body language analysis and kind of things like that.
Oh yeah.
So I'd be interested to see someone analyze his interviews and things like that to see if he really is telling the truth. You know what I mean?
I mean not Pac, Diddy or Keefy. Because I want to see both of them. But the thing is, it's tough with rappers because they're always touching their face, and they say that's a sign that you're lying. But rappers are always touching their face.
Really? I didn't know that was a rapper thing.
I've even heard it more specific where it's if you touch your face with your left hand, you're lying.
Ooh.
And the higher you go up to your head or whatever is the bigger the lie. So when you see a guy go, well,
he's bullshit.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wonder.
Sorry, didn't mean to show off
I know.
So jeez,
look at that. Silver Fox. I got a new one the other night. I was doing a show and this gay guy in the front row called me Silver Daddy.
Silver Daddy.
Silver Daddy. Anyways, there he goes. Keefy D says P Diddy hired him to murder Tupac for $1 million. He said he'll give anything. What does that mean?
He said he'll give anything.
like, I'll give anything to kill Tupac. It was right on the heels of his best friend Biggie getting murdered here up on Fairfax and Wilshire by the Peterson Museum. You remember that?
You're right out there, around the corner.
It's so creepy when you go by there now because those tour buses, those Hollywood tours, always go to that site now. And then there's those haunted tours or like, true crime tours of Hollywood, and you always see those buses with people in them right at that spot.
You know what I found interesting when one of the streaming networks, when they had one of those movies about him. Do you remember that some years ago? It was only 2 years ago, I think. But anyway, they had these big billboards for that movie, and one of the biggest ones was on that corner of BIG, and it right there where he got shot. I thought that was interesting. DVD looks like our friend Ramon on that top picture.
I can't remember, but I think he also said that he paid him $1 million to take Tupac out and Suge. Because remember he was in the car with Pac when he got killed.
Look at his picture. He looks like somebody farted.
He looks like he's farting. Yeah, look at Keefe, that gangster, dude. Look at that fucking mugshot. Old. Dude is getting old too, and he's still scary as shit. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Do you think this is just a guy trying to save his ass? Or because he's not, here's why I don't think it's a guy trying to save his ass. Or trying to cooperate for less. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know if he's been, I know he's been accused and he's been charged. But I don't know if there's been a trial saying, yes, you did this, you're going down for murder. And then usually when that happens, they go, to get a lenient sentence, I got some information on other people.
Right.
But it hasn't even got to that yet. And he's just saying, Diddy, pay me $1 million to do it. And if there's a money trail,
right,
Diddy's shitting his Diddy pants right now.
Yeah. He's got
also Diddy. How many names do you need? First, you're Puffy, Puff Daddy, and then Puffy Combs, and then P Diddy. Come on, have a name.
You were Puff Daddy.
I was
last week.
I'm still a little Puff Daddy right now, but it's going down. I promise. I was Puff Daddy last week, but yeah, man.
Different. Now, real quick, is this a death sentence kind of thing that could possibly happen, or
murder?
Maybe
I don't know if
he's
the death
avoiding
penalty.
I don't know where it is.
Well, it's premeditated if it's proven.
Yeah.
Right. Where was he arrested?
Here in L.A. He's a Compton crip. Keefe D confessed to being hired by Diddy to kill Tupac for $1 million.
Man,
when I say confessed, that sounds like he was being questioned about it and he said, yes, I did it. Or is it a confession under interrogation, or was this information he came forward with? Right. I need details. And every time I go to Google it, there's not a whole lot. If you Google P Diddy, a bunch of other shit comes up first. I would think that the first thing that came up was he paid this guy $1 million.
Yeah.
And to a guy like Sean Puffy Combs, $1 million is a drop in the bucket. The guy's a billionaire with a B now, I think, right? Pretty sure.
I would assume so. Now, when did this all come out?
So it's doable. It's not like outlandish amount of money for him to do that. And for like a South Side Compton crip, that's a fucking lot of money.
Right. When did all this happen? When did that come out?
Well, he was arrested on the 23rd of September, and since then, that's when he confessed to saying,
wow,
Diddy made me do it. Which, wow.
Man.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
if it's true,
wild.
If it's true, Sean Diddy Combs, or whatever his real name is a piece of shit, because that's really fucked up. And I understand the anger and the sadness and the, and the knee-jerk reaction to your best friend getting killed and thinking you know exactly who did it and all that stuff.
Not to mention the money lost.
The money lost is a lot of money lost.
Good point.
Yeah. Oh my God, a lot of money lost. But if the two of them were both alive today, imagine they'd just be kings. They were already kings. They're in their early 20s. They weren't even in their mid 20s yet.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm really curious to see if that happened, because I can see it. But then Keefe D, this guy Dwayne Davis, is a West Coast guy, and Pac and Biggie and all those guys are West Coast dudes.
Well, Biggie? I thought he was.
Not Biggie. Suge Knight.
Right.
However, Suge was admittedly a blood, and Crips and Bloods don't get along. So maybe it was like, yeah, I'll take care of that motherfucker. And maybe, I don't know, Tupac got. Maybe I'm like, what if it was meant for Suge?
Yeah.
And Pac just got hit in the crossfire. There's all kinds of stuff you can go to. I can't wait to hear the true crime podcast about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
Because
that's so crazy, and to put so much at stake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's incredible to me how that happens with these guys.
But also there's no honor among thieves. They all say we got this code of this and this code of code of conduct that you don't snitch. I mean, the mafia, la cosa nostra, they're the same way. They all say that you don't snitch, you don't stitch. They all snitch on each other.
Yeah.
Once they get arrested, they're all snitching.
There's no honor.
So
None.
don't think for a minute, I'm not giving you advice on how to get somebody killed, but if you're going to ask a G'd up motherfucker like him to do it, don't think, oh, he's going to hold it. He's like a vault for the rest of his life. No.
Nah.
As soon as he gets locked up and gets offered any kind of, special treatment,
Leniency of any
he's
kind.
going to cough it all up.
Yeah. Just like that.
Just like that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep looking into this for upcoming episodes, and I'm gonna do my research. And then if any of you out there listening, email us stuff. Email us stuff about what you think and your take on it, or any information that you got.
Dude, I want to
It's unidenticalpod
at gmail.com.
gmail.com. So yeah, another thing my brother and I were talking about doing through the month of October was maybe talking about something creepy or scary.
It's creepy time.
It's creepy time.
It's my favorite time.
It's Halloween.
It's
Halloween.
creepy
What's the song from the bullshit from Burton?
It's Halloween.
From the
Halloween.
bullshit.
Halloween. Do you remember
Hello.
when the kids were little and Tiana sounded like an old Japanese man when she sang it?
How does she do it?
She would go, "This is Halloween. This is Halloween."
This Halloween. Halloween.
She was 3. I don't know.
Her first language was
Yeah, I love this time of year, the spooky stuff.
Yeah, me too. I love
man.
it for a few reasons. I love it because it's fall,
Mm-hmm.
and also it's the kids. And
Yeah.
it's so cute. It's so
Yeah.
cute. I fortunately live in a neighborhood where we still get trick or treaters.
But
Is
do
that-
you get fall? I mean, because it's California. Do we even really have fall?
We have our version of
Right. I
Yeah.
call it like a California
Yeah,
fall.
Our California fall is
Right.
we'll dip down to dangerously cold temperatures like 64.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
66.
Take out the
It's
boots.
crazy. Teeth chattering.
Yeah. But we do have our fall. I mean, it's just,
we have
I mean,
fall.
even when it's hot, it's like, you know what I mean? There's the
just-
sun's at a different angle.
Yeah, the leaves
I think-
falling.
Yeah.
The colors are different.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, because
lawn gets brown.
October 15th, right?
Yeah, right now it is. No.
Oh,
Today's the
16.
Yeah,
And it's
16.
82
Yeah.
degrees outside right now.
Yeah, it's
82
right now. Hey,
Southern California, man.
people living
Stay
in
away.
cold areas, sorry about that.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna tell you
don't
right now
come-
that I'm not bragging. I hate it. I love weather, and that's why I love that I travel so much, because I get to experience weather. Remember the first time you came on the road with me, and you were like, we went to Portland, Oregon,
Oh, yeah.
and I got this great picture of my brother sitting in the park with all the leaves, and he's just looking up, and he looks so happy.
Yeah, dude. It was awesome.
yeah.
It was great.
So what's your creepy? Do you have a creepy story? Creepy creeps?
Well, no, I mean, we have tons we can come up with.
Here's
but,
some.
but one of the things I started watching, you know how we love John Carpenter's Halloween?
Yes.
Well, he has a series on it's streaming from the cock. It's on Peacock.
Okay.
And it's called Suburban Screams. And it's
Whoa.
John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. And the cool thing about it is supposedly these are all
Is it supposedly or supposedly?
supposedly.
All right, you said
B,
B.
yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Did I put a B?
Yeah, you uneducated idiot.
But anyway,
I love you.
the cool thing about this is they're all true stories, and it's like a documentary. You know, when you watch a documentary and they always have reenactments,
Mhm.
and when it shows the people talking and then it shows the reenactment, usually the faces are obscured, or even sometimes it's filmed from here down or something, or the chin down, and it's just kind of a representation of what happened. Well, the cool thing about this John Carpenter series is each of the reenactments are like miniature little scary movies with
Ooh.
actors and the special effects and everything.
I'm watching today.
Filmed very cinematically, you know what I mean? It was really cool. And some of these stories that are, supposed to be true stories are unbelievable, man. There's one that a lot of people know about you've heard this one called the Bunny Man.
Yes.
They talked about that, and
He's a rapper from Jamaica, right?
no,
Bunny Man.
no.
Oh, sorry.
I think that's a rapper from
It might be.
Bunny
You
Man.
might be thinking Bad Bunny.
Oh,
Bad Bunny's current. I don't understand.
go ahead,
What's
Bunny
a Bad
Man.
Bunny?
What is it?
There it is. Yeah, Suburban Screens, John Carpenter.
Yeah,
It's
we got to check that out.
Peacock.
Oh, look at the
original.
blood
Say it's
running
streaming
from the
cock.
driveway.
Oh, and it's a hand.
I look at
The driveways are a bloody hand. That's
Yeah, it's a bloody hand.
It's a bloody.
But anyway, the Bunny Man thing was in Virginia, and there's this one bridge that's still an active train that goes over it and everything, and it kind of looks like a commuter train. Don't get me started on trains, sorry, but there's this
Train geek.
there's this kind of tunnel that all the kids gather around on Halloween, and Yeah, dude, it's like this guy that he's got an axe and he has this crazy weird rabbit mask, and there was all these eyewitnesses and these people coming talking about what the things that actually happened to them when they were kids. And there were these 3 kids.
Sold.
Oh, dude, there were these
I'm
3
in.
kids that ended up in his house and running and because it was a rumor the shack in the woods was his, and he was in there and they had to run out and man, just that really cool stuff. That's why I like it, because every one of them is supposed to be true. Now I just watched one of them where a family moves into basically a haunted neighborhood. Like the whole neighborhood was the episode, I believe, is called Cursed Neighborhood.
Ooh.
And it was like
Getting the chili beans.
Oh, dude, and it was beautiful. Like these big, gorgeous homes and like just beautiful neighborhood, suburban Maryland. And there were like several suicides that people would just lose their minds in their houses in this neighborhood. And the family that was focused on it was so sad, because they were just this tight little family unit and they were all happy and everything. And there was like their dream, and they were excited about this home that they just bought. And I'm not kidding, dude, within weeks, not like being there for years or months or even weeks, this family was decimated. They were completely done.
What do you mean, like killed?
First? Well, no. Well, let me first, spoiler alert.
Haunted
Spoiler
murder.
alert, just so you know, if you're gonna watch the show. But
wait, before you do the spoiler alert, don't do the spoiler alert.
What do you mean?
Because you just got everybody excited about the show.
Yeah,
Gonna give one away.
My brother's really.
No, I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm letting people know. If you don't want to know what I'm gonna say, I'm just letting you know. But I'm gonna say some stuff about.
Are you giving away the story and what the
well,
whole episode?
It's not. It's
don't
just
give away the episode.
No, okay. Well, yeah. All right, watch it.
Watch it.
Watch what happens to this.
Gosh,
this poor family. I mean, and they seem so sweet. And
we live in a haunted house.
They weren't black, right?
Yes. You know what? What did you just say?
We lived in a haunted house.
Okay, do me a favor. Can you pull up there's a photo. It's this photo right here. What we're looking at is we're looking at a picture of my brother and I at about, I don't know, 3
years old.
Maybe not even quite 3. And
3 or 4.
One of us is sitting up on top of the bench. Another one. I want to guess and say the lower guy here is you.
Yeah.
I think so. Mom will probably
This is the crazy thing is there are pictures of my brother and I that we have the hardest time telling who's who.
Yeah. So this is us.
That's
And what this is we lived in an area right near Agoura, California. And this little community was called Malibu Lake. And now it's just a lot of money there. But
beautiful. Yeah.
And but back in the 70s, it was like kind of like a little hippie artist community.
Yeah.
And that picture there is in a park, literally right across from our driveway. There's this beautiful park, and they would have these classic car shows in this park, and that's what we were attending there. But the house is the one you mentioned. This house that we lived in up there in Malibu
a lot of
Lake.
interesting connections with this house too. But go ahead.
And there was some. You and I moved. We've been Long Beach kids since we were like 6.
Yeah.
And so we were very young that age, through that time in that house. I still have some memories of it too, though. And good ones, actually. But it was a really cool house. But we would, over the years growing up, after moving out of it, we would hear people tell stories about that house that we lived in. Like uncles would say, "Oh, I remember I was there one night and this happened." And there were all kinds of really interesting, kind of creepy things that happened in this.
A gravesite was found on the property.
It was so
under the apple tree, I think.
Yes,
it sounds like a movie, right?
It. Yes, our mother found it, and she dug under this tree. It was a low tree, kind of, and she found a knocked over headstone.
Right.
Oh wow.
Knocked over, and back in the day, that was common. These families because it was a very rural area, and the families would, you would bury your loved ones on the property. And this is how it was, and that people think that grave was actually, there was 3. Okay, here we go, guys. Ready? It's Halloween. It was said. This was what was, again. We go all by hearing stories from this house we lived in, but it was said that there were 3 ghosts in this house, and it was a family. It was a man, a woman, and a little baby, and that I think that they all died in a fire.
Yeah.
Because anything with fire around our house was like squashed. Like you would light a thing, you would come back 2 seconds later, it was out. Like, and one of the interesting stories I remember hearing was we used to use up there a lot because the power would go out. They would use what are called hurricane lamps. You Z's might want to Google that one. The hurricane lamp. Okay.
They're just Z's now.
Yeah,
But they're
yeah.
Z's, so they're not gonna look up hurricane camps. They're gonna or lamps and himicane. They're gonna look up themicane.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Themicane lamp.
Yeah. Go ahead. They them McCain lamps.
Anyway, and so you would like this thing, and it would be it would have the the flame in there, and it had a little knob that you would turn, so that you know how they work, right?
Yeah.
So this flame was there, and everybody. This is the story I heard, and it was mainly like uncles and things like that, and close family friends that were always around. It was during our father's, big musician time.
Yeah.
He was really heavy in the music department.
Remember the musician connection, by the way. Go ahead.
So, one of the stories I heard about a hurricane lamp one night was they were all sitting around talking and stuff, and whenever our relatives would tell us the stories, they would always say, when you would start talking about things would happen. If you said, "Oh, this happened," something else would happen right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about the stuff that would go on in the house, and this hurricane lamp was sitting in the middle of the table, and the flame. At one point, the flame split into two flames right in front of everybody, and then went back, and then shot straight up like this big, and then it went out. So that's one story I heard.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then I heard. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're almost out of time. I want to talk about the connection
Okay.
to this house.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was still trying to understand when I asked if the family was black. You're like, what'd you say? And then
What family? Which? Oh, I didn't hear you say.
No, he's
that.
saying.
I'm
What
sorry.
did I say to me?
No, I was saying.
No,
because he
when we
said
were talking
our
about the
haunted house.
suburban screams thing.
Right.
Right. What?
And
What?
you said was the family black, but then right after you said that, I said something, and he was going, "What did you say to me?"
Oh, I didn't hear you
Not
ask that.
you.
I didn't hear you ask
Oh,
that.
okay.
But the answer is yes, they were.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. Yeah.
'Cause that stuff usually happens to white people.
Yeah. I was going to say
Yeah.
any black family would be
Right.
out.
And
Here's-
the poor. Anyway, let's.
Here's the crazy connection. This house had so many good memories for my brother and I when we were little kids, and it was a beautiful place to live. And after we didn't live there anymore and we moved to Long Beach, we continued to go there all the time because my uncle lived right down the street in another house. So we were always in the neighborhood, and it was just a beautiful neighborhood. Now, remember, my father was a musician and a bass player. Okay? Keep that in mind. So now, all these years later, it was a couple years ago, I decided to drive up there to look at the old house. And when I got there was a guy out front, and he looked like a musician.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, "Hey, man." And he goes, "What's up, man? Can I help you?" I go, I just wanted to check the house out. I lived here when I was a child."
Mm.
He goes, "Oh, really?" I go, "Yeah. Yeah, I lived here when I was a kid." And and then we got into the conversation, and it came out in the conversation that Dad was a musician. The guy's like, "I'm a musician."
Mhm.
The guy living there now.
Right.
I go, "Oh, really? Are you a bass player?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." I go, "My dad was a bass player."
Cool.
Then he says, I don't know if you remember this. He says, "The guy that lived here before me passed away. He was also a bass player."
Whoa.
Here's the connection to us. It was the bass player from Spasmatics that we knew personally.
The one that passed away?
Yes.
That's the house he
That's
lived
where
in?
he lived.
I never knew that. Okay, there's this great 80s cover band called the Spasmatics. A lot of you probably heard of them.
It's part of a company, so there's several Spasmatics.
Yeah.
But the
Our
band that-
Spasmatics was the best.
the one that we worked with, they were the best ones. And
Yeah.
I worked with them. I booked them personally a few times. I went and saw them every week.
Google them.
Became friends with these guys. And the bass player,
He was great.
Did he drown or something? How did he?
What happened? He had just, from what I heard, he had just bought a home. I didn't realize it was that one.
It was that home.
And he went out because there's a lot, it's very rural. So there's a lot of, open forest kind of,
Yeah.
woods and things like that, creeks, all that kind of thing. And apparently he went out on a walk or a run, from what I understand, and got caught in a landslide.
Oh,
Yeah.
but when he
You know
told
what the
me
crazy
that,
thing is? Who told me he passed away? You know how I found out he passed away? Richard Blade. You know who that is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
he was on the radio for
Richard
years.
Blade DJ'd my cousin's wedding, and so we started chatting, and he told me then. That's when he told me about it. I was like, "What?"
But dude,
Wow.
the connection. The bass players. The third guy, the guy living there now, bass player.
Mhm.
Dad, bass player. Then that guy.
One we knew.
What was his name?
I know it. Don't tell me. It was. Oh gosh darn it, I can't remember.
But gosh darn it, is so cute.
oh man, I
gosh.
feel bad.
Consarnet,
Son
bass
of a
player.
biscuit.
But then he said to me, the guy that previously lived here died. He was also a bass player.
Right.
Then he told me who he was, and I'm like, I know him. The guy that I know, my father was the bass player that lived. It was just crazy
Insane,
connections
right?
to this house.
Yeah.
And it makes me go like this. Right. I mean, I think we did a podcast today, Dave.
Oh man, I want to tell one more.
Okay, tell one more.
About the, people are gonna be like, I want to hear more about the haunted house.
Okay, tell me one more haunted.
All right, so Uncle Roger told me this one.
Okay.
He said,
Uncle
remember
Roger, by the way, my Uncle
Another
Roger
amazing musician.
was an amazing musician, and my parents met because Uncle Roger and my father were in a band together, and my mom was the younger sister of his bandmate. That's how they met.
Right. Yeah. He was telling me, remember macrame?
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole thing.
I have a pair of macrame underwear on.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Cool. And I remember our uncle Bruce was way into anyway. So we would have these macrame hanging plant holders.
Right.
And Uncle Roger told me one night he was there alone and it started rocking, which, okay, that's creepy.
Yeah, but that could be wind.
But what he said that got me, he said, but it stopped like this. It swung up and stopped mid-swing and then went like this, back to middle and stopped swinging.
Do you think he was telling us that to scare us, or
Maybe.
did that really happen?
I don't know, but I mean, you hear so many things about that house.
Yeah, there were issues in that entire neighborhood. It was on Indian burial grounds, wasn't it?
Sure, I think everybody says
I think everything haunted is on Indian burial.
everything. Yeah,
Or sorry, Native American burial grounds.
I
It's
was
funny
just-
to say that because the Indian population, most of them in America, refer to themselves as Indian. Yeah,
Yeah, but they can do it.
they can do it.
Yeah.
Just like blacks can say
Got
the
it.
word.
Yeah.
Right?
And like fat guys can say whatever. This has been fun, man. You guys, thanks so much for joining us again here at the podcast place in Long Beach, California, with super producer Solomon. Make sure you continue to rate and review at Apple Podcasts, iHeart, wherever you listen. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps us out. Check us out on YouTube, Unidentical Pod. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when a new episode is coming. We will have all kinds of details in the notes as far as dates and emails and all that stuff. So thank you guys again. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Unidentical.